The citizens in this country are what provided the platform for you nerds even to exist.
You know, the guy with the GED and his fake Oakley sunglasses, his goatee, and his pickup truck, you know, the universal Twitter bro, that guy's thinking to himself, oh, well, I could have been the senior software designer at Google if only it weren't for DEI or immigration.
Elon Musk is now going after the MAGA base, labeling them just a few hours ago as, quote, contemptible fools.
Go f yourself.
The Elon situation has gotten really ugly, so much uglier than I expected it to get, to be honest with you. I'm going to show you the worst of it, but I do think before we go into that, it's really important to remember there is no benefit in becoming divided. There's so much progress that has happened, coming together and agreeing to disagree. At the moment, that's not happening. We're going to talk about some notable people who believe that this is a psyop. Then we're going to look at how bad this really, really got. After that, I want to show you a comment that someone posted to Elon, which I actually was so moved by. I just feel like it's so important for people to see it. But firstly, the psyop. If I was anti-MAGA, I would see right now as the perfect opportunity to cause division within MAGA and to cause chaos. And remember last week, the media was hating on Elon. They were hating on the Trump-Elon alliance. I did a video where I showed Anthony Scaramucci literally like veiled threat, a warning to Elon Musk about Washington, D.C. could really hurt him badly, so he better behave, you know? I was seeing in a lot of comment sections last week, a lot of people who really hate MAGA and were like, let's divide and conquer. We have to divide and conquer, which is such a shame because doing that harms them too. Honestly, guys, this is harmful to everybody. There are genuinely people out there who will try to cause chaos and cause problems, and they do not have people's best interest in mind. This person also said the same thing. It's a psyop. And they have this chart, 3 million illegal aliens walked across the border in 2024. And then this is the number of H-1B visas that Elon wants to increase by. You're seeing the numbers there. It really puts it into perspective. Things are going to feel an awful lot different once other issues have been addressed. Here's another post where they're hypothesizing that there's a psyop based on all of these very similar comments, which is remove Elon and Vivek from Doge immediately, shut down Doge, etc. Get Elon out. You can see that Elon actually says the H1 system absolutely needs reform, but you are listing jobs that were denied H1B visas or were awarded non-H1B visas. Check your data. So this is very interesting because he has outright said it, but I don't know if many people have actually seen that post, which is probably adding to the confusion. Another thing that's going around is this audio recording. People believe that this was Elon in this call with this group of people. And honestly, I don't think it's him. I think that this is an AI voice pretending to be Elon, but see what you think. Before I show it to you, have a very quick look at this interview just so we remind ourselves how he sounds and how he talks.
Absolutely. So, totally. No. Actually, what this advertising boycott is going to do, it's going to kill the company.
And do you think that
and the whole world will know that those advertisers killed the company, and we will document it in great detail.
Just for context, Laura Loomer, her account got its badge removed. This conversation is like talking about how she doxed Elon in a post.
Maybe you are kind of stupid because how exactly have I said that? How exactly have I said that? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Explain to me when I said this.
I do understand I'm getting unhinged and I can talk like
no, not needed at the moment.
But I get really passionate about it because I can't imagine.
Yeah, probably you should put that passion somewhere else into, I don't know, informing yourself because sorry, stop muting me, by the way. What you're saying is absolute bullshit.
No, it's not. It's not.
Okay, then tell me where exactly I said what you claimed that I said. You're putting words in my mouth.
Listen, I'll tell you something. If I go to your fucking house and tell you how you're supposed to act, and I'll call you, that you racist,
When
you this,
have
you
I
this, you
told
this,
you how
and
to
that,
act?
because
When have I done this?
you know you're insane. You are
You
like
sound actually
completely
unhinged, and
insane.
I hope that you probably seek out the necessary medical attention that you
You
need in order
should
to deal with
know.
this insanity, because you are a threat to
You
the fucking
think you're
platform.
I've waited
superior.
a long time. I've waited a long time. So let me just make my
You
point.
think you're superior. That's what it is.
Wow.
And
I
you're
don't think
not.
I'm superior to
He
anyone. I
does.
clearly stated I have the
No,
smoothest brain on the planet.
no,
Yes.
you definitely think you're superior, but that's okay. The point I
No, I
wanted to make.
definitely think I'm super smooth brained, and I think I'm like the most aerodynamic thing here. You know, like those spheres that they manufacture to test like whether or not a kilogram is actually accurate. You know, the spheres of silicon. That's how smooth my brain is.
Yeah, you're the UFOs over New Jersey.
It's
Anyway,
so flat and such a mirror that you can see the future in it, and you don't like what you see.
Jesus Christ, you're obnoxious. All right. So the point I wanted to get to was if it is in fact true that Laura, Owen, others have lost their blue.
I'm really interested to hear what you guys think, but I just don't think that sounds like. I think it sounds like Elon, but I don't think it's quite right. There's no stuttering on his words, which you usually hear from Elon while he talks. Now let's get into how ugly this really got. Elon ended up sharing this post. He seems to be referencing a movie quote, a quote from Tropic Thunder, vaguely. The words "take a big step back and F yourself in the face." That's quite similar to a quote from Tropic Thunder. This message is still very confrontational. He says, "I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend." I don't know if he's like just being dramatic for the sake of being dramatic, or if he means that, but it's not helpful to the situation, in my opinion. Just creating more division. It's just stoking the flames further, and I just don't think it's helpful. So I know he can do what he wants and he can say what he wants. And then you can see in this video CNN talking about Elon referring to people as contemptible fools.
Elon Musk is now going after the hardliners, the very heart of the MAGA base, labeling them just a few hours ago as, quote, contemptible fools who must be removed from the Republican Party root and stem.
I don't particularly like that he's giving the media fuel for this. And as I said, I just don't like that it's creating more division that doesn't need to be there. I really think that people are much more powerful when they unite, when they don't just fight over stupid stuff. And this is people fighting over stupid stuff, you know? So then you have this man, Rick Wilson, who goes on a rant against Trump voters.
It's an inevitability that the hyper-populist, non-college educated part of Trump's base, which is the plurality at the minimum, a majority if you take certain arguments, we're always going to be preconditioned to believe that the word immigration or the word visa always in their minds means brown people bad.
I feel that the media has really, really done people a disservice. The media, and to be quite frank, the politicians on the left, were continuously, and in my opinion purposely, referring to the illegal immigrants that Trump wanted to get out of the country. They would refer to them as immigrants. They very, very rarely identify the difference between legal and illegal, and they just would refer to Trump being like a racist who wants to get rid of immigrants. The media has actively misled people for a long, long time. Of course, there are going to be repercussions for that, and it sucks. But to be honest with you, I have not seen people like this. Is so derogatory to just dismiss people as saying brown people bad. I've seen very, very, very minuscule amount of comments online, and I've looked at a lot of comments where they're just like racist comments, you know. What I have seen is people with valid arguments. They're concerned about fraud, misuse of a system, the same way that they've been concerned about all of the different government systems that they think have been infiltrated with fraud and corruption. They feel that way about this too. That's not deviating from the way that they usually think, but this time people are being labeled as racist by their own team.
They have this belief that you know, the guy with the GED and his fake Oakley sunglasses, his goatee and his pickup truck, you know, the universal Twitter bro that you see in every avatar on Twitter, that guy's thinking to himself, oh, well, I could have been the senior software designer at Google if only it weren't for DEI or immigration. It's absurd, but now you see these people that rely on that as a core part of their business, just like Donald Trump does, also, by the way, for service staff at Mar-a-Lago and other resorts. You see this conflict. It's going to eventually, the hyper-populists, they don't really care about the more sophisticated arguments about H-1B or O-1 visas. They care around people bad.
It's just so dismissive. I do find it too coincidental that every time the public has an issue with the elites, with the corruption within government, with the higher powers, that's when they suddenly are called racist, misogynist, whatever. Some term that makes it that you can just dismiss their argument without having to address it or discuss it. This is little guy against big guy. This is not like all the little guys against each other. It's dismissive of him to say that this isn't a thing that's really happening. There's literally been news articles about this. There's been reports about this. And naturally so. There was a really big push for DEI. I'll say this, and I know it's controversial to some, but any person on this earth, no matter their race, anyone can be the victim of racism. So now we have the other side of the spectrum where Steve Bannon came lashing out at Musk.
H-1B visas, that's not what it's about. It's about taking American jobs and bringing over essentially what become indentured servants at lower wages. This thing's a scam by the oligarchs in Silicon Valley to basically take jobs from American citizens, give them to what become indentured servants from foreign countries, and then pay them less. Simple. You need to honor this country, and you need to honor the citizens in this country. The citizens in this country are what provided the platform for you nerds even to exist. Because in the predatory nature, the Darwinian environment of the world as it is, you would have already been crushed and destroyed.
Why are we doing this? Why is everybody getting so divided over this? People have been expressing their own personal experiences around this, and some of you guys have said your experiences in the comments section. There was someone who commented who explained that their experience working in IT, where slowly all of their colleagues got replaced with foreign workers, and eventually they themselves got replaced and had to train their replacement. Like, that is tough. And if people, I've seen that type of comment many, many times in the last few days. And if enough people are having that experience, that is understandable why people would feel upset and feel like they need to say something. Does everybody agree that a fair system, a system that's not being abused, that facilitates good workers, people who want to contribute something positive to America, can come in through a visa? Does everybody agree that that's fine as long as it's not being taken advantage of and not corrupt? I believe that most people agree that they don't have a problem with legal immigration. They just have a problem with adding 85,000 employees to this visa system that's already being taken advantage of. Please let me know what you think. But now let me just get into this comment that I felt was so important. Elon showed a screenshot. We should greatly increase the legal immigration of anyone who is hardworking, honest, and loves America. Every such person is an asset to the country, but massive illegal immigration of people we know nothing about is insane. He says here, this is the right position for those who want America to win. For those who want America to lose for their own personal gain, I have no respect. Zero. And that was very revealing. This person says, I mean this in the most respectful manner possible. Can you define exactly what you mean when you say you want America to win and not lose? And be as precise as possible to reduce the ambiguity in your statements. And can you please clearly articulate the non-financial cultural costs you are willing to let society incur to get to your definition of winning? So that makes you wonder, what mindset is Elon coming from on this? And does he understand the average person's mindset on America and what they want from America? So now here's the comment that I felt really hit the nail on the head. Elon Musk, I'm going to make this response, and if you find it offensive, then cancel my membership or tell me and I'll cancel it myself. It's your app. But your comment of, I have no respect, is out of line. You view it as winning or losing. That's your nature, but people have different priorities. You are so focused on being number one that you have either forgotten or have failed to realize that America is focused on survival now. You want to focus on technology. We are focused on making sure our children have food that is safe and healthy, an education that prepares them for a future, medical care that is actually safe, not toxic, adults in their lives that teach them to love themselves as they were born to be. You are focused on 20 years into the future when we don't trust that this country has a future. We have a government that is composed of people bought and paid for by special interest groups that consider us expendable. We have two parties that pretend to fight against each other, but like stunt doubles, they never make contact and only seek to put on a show. We have a government that is leaving citizens to freeze in tents while they send billions to other countries. We have a government that funded the development of a virus, then funded a vaccine while hiding all the toxic side effects, that then seeks to ruin the lives of anyone that questions them when they try to fund more viruses. In plain terms, you are wanting to make sure that you have the nicest garage in the neighborhood, while what we see is the house that is caving in on us. We voted for people that we thought would help repair the foundation that is cracked, the floors that sway, the roof that sways, and the heating. You now are projecting that your concern is adding another bay to the garage. You cite loss of respect, winning versus losing, so I'm going to present this analytically using terms you should comprehend. An engineer commits to improving the Tesla's performance as it rates to extending the battery lifetime. The engineer brings you schematics of an engine that increases fuel mileage for a Toyota Camry to a minimum of 60 miles per gallon. That's a great improvement that will benefit Toyota customers, but it would be very frustrating to you as it is of no use in a Tesla. That is how we feel. Your plan for bringing in tech geniuses could very well be great in the future. But it doesn't really mean much to us when what we see is a country that is falling apart and that we aren't even sure will have a future. And honestly, even reading that again, I've read that a few times now, and it makes me feel emotional because I just think that it really gets to the heart of people's struggle. A lot of people voted out of desperation, and people clearly find it hard to even maintain their trust for the people who are claiming to try to help them. It's hard because they have been screwed over so many times. The government gaslights, manipulates, abuses the people. And of course, you'll find people acting in a way like they've been abused. They're going to act distrustful. They're going to act defensively, emotionally. It's fair enough. It's totally fair that people aren't feeling trusting. The good side is that I think some people really are listening. Charlie Kirk did a video in the last few days where people were explaining the things that they think Vivek said wrong in his post. And Vivek was on the other side of the phone, live with Charlie Kirk, text messaging. Charlie was relaying all of the information to Vivek about what he did wrong. He was clearly reflecting and wanting to understand people and people's perspectives. He then shared a post on X about the education system, which is one of the things that people actually want the Trump administration to be focusing on. So I felt like he heard people and understood that he needs to redirect his focus for now. I really do think that there is a good chance that the fraud in the system is going to be addressed. And in the meantime, I think people need to understand that there is going to be an ongoing feeling of, do I trust? Even if you voted for MAGA, you may feel doubt. You may be like, can I really trust these people? Have I been duped again? Am I going to be taken advantage of again? And that's completely understandable. There could be an awful lot of change in your circumstances in the next year or so, and just wait and see. And for now, let's try to assume the best in each other. Let's try to understand each other's points of view without getting too divided, because it helps nobody. I've really appreciated you guys all sharing your opinions. Please keep on sharing your thoughts and talking, and I appreciate how respectful everybody's been in the comment section. Honestly, it's so great that everybody can just come together and share their thoughts. Just thank you guys. I'm really looking forward to hearing your opinions this time, and I'll see you next time.